to cloud and then share screen. Okay. Okay, so let's see where we start, where we end last time. Did we already? Okay, I believe last time we already finished Pandas, the data frame introduction, and we also finished some, hold on, let's admit. And then, hold on, okay, let me stop sharing a little bit, see if there are more here. Okay, I got everybody here. And I remember we also finished, we also finished some special stream processing, okay. Quite useful. So what today we will discussing is about how to how to combine multiple data frames together, or some selected sections from multiple data frames together, because that's used a lot in the real world. Okay, so you may have like suppose Excel sheet, is it multiple Excel sheet, but you want to combine them together to do something, is it? How are we going to deal with that? So this topic is regarding merge, is it combine. The very first we are going to discuss is to use Pandas concat method. So first, let's take a look. How do we use that? So anyway, so here is some random number generation. Also be careful, okay? So this is for, so how about let's do this as a quiz question. This is going to be our first quiz question. So who remembers this rand? We also have the other method called that rand. Is it? And here we have there's a method called that rand in. So who still remembers the difference between these two? That's our first quiz question. Who remembers?
I think rand will generate the float numbers, and randint will generate the integers.
No.
Random will generate like normal distribution, and rand generate normal range of numbers like.
Yeah, so that's the major difference, okay. So this is uniform distribution. So it's regarding statistics distribution, and this is for normal distribution, okay. So be careful, okay, be very careful here, okay, the subtle difference. So this is the first quiz question, okay. So over here, this random is for normal distribution, even though it's random number, but it's normally distributed. And this is for uniform, okay, distribution, okay, so that's a major difference. Okay, anyway, and then let's take a look over here. So here you just directly, and if you recall for Pandas, the data frame you can do indexing, and then we can do slicing, indexing and slicing. And the indexing and slicing, there are multiple ways, is it? And over here, what we do is we directly use the brackets, is it? And inside it, we just directly use what? Use their index number. Is it? There are some other ways, if you recall, you can call data log or data I log. Is it? And the at, data I at. Is it? So there are some other ways. And also recall, okay, for data frame pandas, it has, so both, hold on, let's get, hold on, admit. And for generally speaking, we say rows and the columns. Is it? And they can also, in data frame, they also support named. Is it? Rows and column. And we call them what? Called labels. Is it? You can also use a label instead of just position values. Is it? And over here to use position. Is it? To use position. And if you do, because over here when we create this data frame, we didn't specify the index label and the column names. Is it? So by default, it's going to use, those are called position values. Is it? For the indexing and the columns. Okay, so anyway, so over here, for this part, do slicing, is it? So the first two rows, so not including two, is it? 0 and 1. And this is from 5 to, so 5, 6, is it? So 5, 6. And here it's from 7, is it? All the way, is it? To the end. So you have these 3 parts, slicing part from the original data frame, is it? From data frame. And you put them together, as you put them together as a list, is it? And then over here, you want to get them together, is it? So how do we do that? You can call this data concat, okay, and plug in with this pieces, this list, is it? Then it's going to combine all of the selected new regions together, is it? As a data frame, new data frame. So you can see this is quite useful. So this way shows from a single data frame, you can extract multiple parts and then put them together, okay? And what next one try to show, let's see. So here we have what? This looks like a dictionary, as a Python dictionary. And data 2 is also another dictionary, Python dictionary. Okay, then for the first data frame, okay, it's from data 1, is that? So you, and previously we learned from dictionary, you can create a data frame, is that you can use dictionary to create data frame. And over here, this is you specify the index. So this is label index. Even though this index is still the position number, but anyway, so this is the label index, okay? So the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So we always have 4 items under each of the key value pair, etc. So this is the key, and the value part is what? Is a list, okay? And then for the second one, you're going to create a data frame, is that using this dictionary. And did you see the index? We still use number, okay, but these are treated as label, okay, label index. And then next, let's see the result for both data frame. And whenever you create data frame using dictionary, the key, so those are keys. Is it a key will be the columns, okay, for the data frame. And here is that label index, okay. So that's the first data frame, df and df1. Is it? We see that. And then next, let's see what it does. So over here to call that concat method. Is it? Concat method over here, if you take a closer look, it uses both of the data frame. Is it? Use both data frame and put them in brackets. Okay, and over here to also specify the axis. Okay, and how they are going to join. Is it how they are going to combine? Because when you combine, generally, like even from math, the set concept is that you want to have intersection. So this is regarding intersection. And generally speaking, we call this kind of inner join. This is intersection. And you can also have the other type of join. So that's include everyone. Is it? This is outer join. Include everything from both sides, the outer join. Okay, so you also specify how you are going to join. Here says inner join. Inner join means look for the common sets between from both data frames. And the axis, here is the second dimension. Is it? So that means you are going to, second dimension is regarding columns. Is it? So what we are going to do is expand columns. Is it from over here? Is it? Look for the common set but expand the columns. Is it? From both data frame. Is it both data? And when you look for inner join, it's based on what? It's based on the contents? No, it's based on the index label. Indexes. As the indexes over here, you have 2, 3, 2 and 3. Is it? And over here, you also have 2, 3. Is it? So those are the common keys, 2 and 3. Is it? So inner join. So meet for the indexing. Okay, so this is the intersection of the indexing. Okay. So over here, is it? So 2, 3, both side owns. Is it? Here you also have 0, 1, 6, 7. Is it? And over here you have 2 and 3. Is it? So we look for this common part. Is it? And if you take a look at the result, you will find it's exactly what it does. Is it? And also, did you see? So the first, so this is DF. Is it? This is from DF1. Is it? So it's expanded. Is it expanded? And you still have the name, age, some of the repetitive columns. Is it? In this case. But anyway, so here it shows how do you do, hold on, let me get him. Okay, so this part shows how do we do the concatenate, okay, with the inner join, okay, inner join. Okay, then next let's take a look. And this inner join is to expand the columns, is that? And you can also do expand rows, is it? Then you specify axis is 0, is it? And in this case, we didn't specify the join mode, is it? So if you don't specify, then it's going to be outer join by default, is it? So let's see the result. If you take a look, is it? So here is the first data frame. is it? And this part is DF1, is it? Has both of that, is it? And this salary part is new, is it, for DF1? So that's why it's when it's expanded, it you just get net. Is it for mobile number, same thing. Is it for DF1, it doesn't, so it get net. But the new data frame, it's got expanded. Okay, so here expand by row. And it include everything from both data frame, okay. So this is concat, and we can take a look. Furthermore, the concat still with both data frame. Here you said, I want to expand the column, is it? And I didn't specify the join mode, is it? So that means it's going to include everything, is it? Then in this time, if you take a look, this part is from DF1 or DF, is it? And this part is from DF1, is it? So that's why over here, this part you all have net, is it? And this part you all have net, because you also expand the column. Is it originally it doesn't have those values. That's why you just expand as net, okay? So here it just shows again about the concatenation. And what next one for the concatenation, it shows. Concatenation, you concat DF1 and the two data frame, and you said, I want to expand the column, is it? And you can, so for the keyword argument, not just you can specify the join mode, you can also specify join axis. So you're going to join based on which? Based on column or based on index, is it? And based on which index, whose index, is it? So here it says, okay, I'm going to do join based on first data frame's index. That's what it's specified. Okay, first data frame's index. Okay, first data frame's index is what? So this part is the first one, is it? And it's 0, 1, 2, 3. It's based on this. Okay, to consider this as the key for the join, is it? So let's take a look. The result. So this result, did you see it only has the index from DF? Is it? Because here is specified DF's index. It doesn't have 6 and 7. No. Is it? Not included? Is it? But it's expand column. So it does. So this is DF part. This is DF1 part. Column. Columns. It does expand. Is it? And regarding this part, they don't share. Is it? So it's all filled with net. Is it? All filled with net. Okay. So over here, we also see for join, for the concatenation, you can also specify the axis you want to apply the join, okay? And also inner join or outer join, all of those information, okay? Okay, so that's regarding join. And what next one is, that's the first method, okay, concat. So here just provide multiple ways, okay, concat is one method. The second method we will learn is merge, okay. And here it also describes when we do the merge join. Basically, it's kind of SQL type, SQL style merge, okay. So inner join, is it outer join, left join, or write join, is it? So it says nature join. Basically, when we specify the join, the keyword argument, the how can be inner. For full outer join, then the how can be specified as the outer, and the left outer join can be specified with left, and the right outer join can be specified with right, how as right, okay? So those are SQL style. Okay, so next let's take a look. So we have first data frame. So it's built with dictionary. Okay, Python dictionary, key value part is list, is it? So we call it left. So that's what it look like. Okay, index and column, is it? And the second one similar, index and column. Okay, so not a lot of new thing regarding this two data frame, pretty simple. And this time another function in Pandas you can use is called merge, not concat. Okay, not concat. And for this one, then you need to specify the data frame. So we are going to use the above two data frame that we just created, is it? Let's take a quick look what to the left is, okay. I may need to copy it down, okay. So that later on we can use. So left looks like, left is full also, and with 1 and 2, okay. And 0, 1. Okay, so that's what left looks like. Okay, and then over here we call merge. Is it? Here is key, and here is left value, I believe. Okay, this is key and right value. Is it? That's a right data frame. This is a left data frame. And you are going to merge these two data frame. Okay, merge these two. And here it says merge on what? Okay, it says it's going to based on the specified column. Is it? It says based on this key to do merge. That's also fine. Anyway, it's not necessary you always use the index. You can also specify the column. So this is a column, is it? The on key. You specify the column. And you do merge, is it? And all has full, is it, for the key, is it? So with full, the first one is 1, is it? And from second you have 4, so that's why you have 1, 4. Then you also have 1, 5. Is it 1, 5 regarding this? And then you have 2, 4 and 2, 5. That's how you expand. Okay. Okay, so this is on key. And then next, let's see. What is the next one? Try to show, okay, we have left, we have right. Is it left and right this time? Be careful, the key part change. Okay, the full bar and the full bar, is it, and the value, is it? And then you do merge, and it's still on key, is it? And this time, when you do merge, you just have key value, is it? And you do the corresponding matching you find for the corresponding one, okay? So that's merge. And let's take a look more complicated example regarding the merge. So next we have 4 columns, key, key 1, name, and age. And the second dictionary, same thing, we have key, key 1, address, and the qualification. Okay, we have 2 dictionary. Then we create, if you take a look, then we create a data frame, use both dictionary. Okay, and then what we said, we are going to merge. Is it both data frame? And here on what? You can also, when you do merge, here's that you can use multiple keys. Okay, multiple columns from both data frame because both has key and key one. Is it? So let's see what the result going to look like in this case. Okay, so the merge on that is what is key and key one. That's what's merge on. So this is the first data frame, and this is the second data frame. Is it? And both has key and key one column. As a key and key one, and you are going to do the merge. As you're going to do merge, and the nature one when we didn't specify, if you recall, it's what? It's inner join. Is it? It's inner join. And inner join look for the common things. Is it? Common key and key one, you have these two the same. Is it? And which one? And this key one, key zero. This one doesn't have key two, key zero. Both has that. So you just extract both those two rows and combine them together. Is it? So that's how your result data frame going to look like. And it's got expanded, is it, with name, age, address, and qualification. Okay. So be careful when you do the merge. And what next one show is, it still says on key and key one, is it? But here it also specify how, is it? And by default, if you don't specify, it's inner join, is it? And here it says, I want to do left join, is it? So left outer join. Is it left out join is what? Is based on the left freedoms specify key, is it? So this is the left data frame, is it? So you have key 0, key 1, key 2, and key 3, is it? You have those 4 rows. And if you take a look, in this case, when you specify the left, yes, it got only those 4. Is it only those 4? And regarding, so this is from DF. For DF1, is it? For DF1, it has some other information, is it? But both has George and Bob. Is it George? Is it George and Bob? No, I'm sorry, it's this part. Let's see. I remember. So this is shared by both. This is shared by both. Is it? Prince and Bob only exist in DF. In DF1, it doesn't exist. Is it? That's why regarding the address and the qualification, they are newly added. Is it? Added from what? From DF1. This is right freedom, right data frame. This is left, this is right. Is it? So that's why if you take a look, both of these values, they are filled with net. Is it? Because DF1 doesn't have those two two values, is it? Okay, so that's regarding the how works. And what next one try to show is the how specify as outer. Outer means including everyone, is it? That's why if you take a look, it also includes those two are from DF1. Is it? Hold on, I have one student coming. So those two from DF1, is it? Doesn't exist in DF. So that's why if you take a look, it only has address and qualification. Those two doesn't exist in DS, so that's why it's filled with NaN. Is it? And similar for this and this two exist in DF, but doesn't exist in DF1. So that's why it's filled with NaN, with the newly created data frame, okay? So you can clearly see how you specify the join mode, is it? And here shows the inner. Inner is the nature one, is it only looking for whatever the common between both data frames. So that's why you only have two rows, okay? Okay, so that's regarding the merge. What next one try to show? So now we have learned concat, merge, okay? The third way you can do is you call the join function. Okay, that's another approach, okay, you can do. So let's take another look, okay? And also if you take another, let's go back, take another look. When you call the concat, you do pandas, is it? You do pandas concat, and then you plug in the data frames, all data frames, okay? So this method kind of, you can view it kind of like the class method, is it? So this method is from Pandas package, is it? So that's the concept. It's called PD dot, okay? And when we do merge, similar, is it? It belongs to Pandas, okay? It's from the Pandas method. And then when we call, okay, now let's take a look. So anyway, so here we have a dictionary, we have another dictionary, two dictionary, and then we use two dictionary to create two data frame, okay? Let's take a quick look of what those two data frame look like. So those are two data frame look like, quite simple, is it? And we also have a label index, okay? And then what, okay, so this is DF. This is DF1, is it? And if you take a look here, join, and the join before the join method is not from PD, is it? It's a data frame. So this kind of a data frame, hold on. It's a data frames function. Okay, it's data frame. And then you can plug in another data frame. Okay, so be careful, it's specific data frame and the join. So what then this means is it's kind of, it is based on DF data frame. So this is kind of serves like a base data frame. And the join is the other data frame going to join this base data frame. Okay, so that's what this means. Okay, this part means. And if you take a look at the result, you will find it to keep all of the index from the base data frame. There's K0, K1, K2, K3. Is it? And for K3, for K4, is it? K4, the Canada and the PhD, is it? This is not in DF. So it's excluded from the result. Is it? It's all based on the base data frame. and then it's expand its column. This part get expanded, is it? And for whatever, if it doesn't exist, then it's just filled with net, is it? So that's how this join works, okay? And what next one, let's see. And for join, you can also specify how, okay? How? So here I specify outer. Outer means what? Means you're going to include everything. So that's why this time the last, the other key, not the other index doesn't exist in DF, also got joined. So Canada and PhD also got included. Okay, so with join, you can also specify how. Okay. And then next, let's take a look this example. Over here, let's see. So this is similar as the previous. So we have two dictionary. Then we create two data frame. On the second data frame, you also specify index. On the first one, we didn't specify index. Okay. So let's take a look at what this two data frame looks like. And the data frame. So this is the first data frame. So the key, this is a column, is it? And this is index. Okay, so it uses default integer values. Okay, this is the second one, is it? And this is label index. Label index, is it? And this, it says df.join df1. Is it? So df, so this is df. This is the base data frame. Is it? And when you join, if you don't specify it, use index. Is it? And here you specify, you say, I'm going to use the key. So you are going to pick this column, is it, from df as the joining criteria, basically, is it? So joining criteria, and then looking for whatever the comments from both data frame. Okay, both data frame. Okay, so you can also do something like this. That's what it shows. So here, similar, is it? This one is not going to be included. Canada and PhD, is it? Because it doesn't exist, because that one, it's nature join. So by default, it's based on the first, the left data frames specify column, is it? This part, okay. So this is the result. So this one is excluded. Excluded, okay. Okay, and also what here it shows, this is from left data frames. Oh, we shouldn't call left, base data frames column. Is it? You specify the column, is it? And they have the similar as the other ones, index, label index, is it? Yes, so there just shows very flexible, multiple ways we can do, okay. What next one is also interesting is, as usual, we have two data frame. As we have two data frame, and this data frame, the DF, it has index, is it? And the index is, you can also specify the index, okay, specify the index. And then for the second data frame, the index is set from this index. But be careful, this index, you see, from Pandas, you can call index method to create index, is it? And over here, It also Pandas, but this time it's multi-index. And this multi-index is created from tuple. Okay, and the index itself, you can also specify them, give them name. Okay, so this time we have multi-level index. Okay, multi-level, this is quite useful in the real world, okay? And then let's see both data frame and how do we do join. Okay, and here, if you take a look for the first data frame, I remember it's DF, the second is DF1. So this first data frame, so this is index. So this is label index. And label index, you also gave this label index a name. Name is called key, is it? And regarding the DF1 data frame, be careful, okay? This time, this is the value parts. Values, is it? And here you have columns. Columns, is it? And what is this? This is label index. Index, is it? And this is one multi-label index. You have two level, is it? You have key and you have Y, is it? You have two level of label, okay? And then when we do join, we said we are going to do inner join. Is it? So looking for the commons. And when they look for, they were based on the index. Is it? They were based on the index and looking for the commons. Okay, so that's why the results looks like this. Is it? So that's the result, because even though with the second one, is it? It also has second level of index, the Y level of index. And for the first one, it doesn't have. But after you do join, do you see it has both? It has both level of index. So it's changed from a single level to multi-level index. Okay, so you can also do something like this. Okay. So here shows again a multi-level index. Okay, we can also do join. And a lot of time you also want to add a row to a data frame. Is it? And here it shows, okay, this is a data frame. Is it quite normal? And then we want to append. If you want to add new rows, you can call method append. And here you extract a specific, basically here is one row from the original data frame, etc. The fourth row, this row. And then you said, I'm going to append this row to the original data frame. Yes, because the original is 8 by 4, is it? So it's 2, 7. So this is 8, is it? And here you have 4, so 8 by 4. But did you see this new one is appended? Is it appended? So you can also add more rows, okay, to a data frame. Okay, and what the other concept here, and in the previous, in Pandas, we also, not Pandas, in Python, we also learned, but compare with Pandas grouping, you will see Pandas grouping is very powerful, okay, and it's kind of not too difficult to use, okay. And with grouping, the nice thing with grouping is that it can split your original data into group using certain criteria, okay? Because sometimes you may say, okay, I want to group my data based on color, based on shape or something. And then for that specific group, then you may want to apply certain operation, etc. And then you combine result together, etc. How do we do that? Okay, let's see. So over here you have a data frame, etc. So this is our data frame. Okay, so we have this data frame and it has 8. So this is 8 by 4. That's it, 4 column, 8 row data frame. Okay. So then with this data frame, with this data, so you have A and B, and you can also see the type is not it's heterogeneous. Is it? You have string and you also have number. Is it? And so over here, if you take a look for column A, it has full and bar, full bar, full bar, full bar. It's all, you have 2 kind of category. Is there 2 kind of category? And you may say, okay, I want to group by it belongs to full or belongs to bar, etc. And then you also say, I want to do summation over the group, each group. Then what you can do is you can call the group by. Then you specify what you want to group by. Here it says, okay, group by column A. And then do what? Then do summation. Okay. And what is the result you're going to get? Then it's going to summation, because if you take a close look, you will find only column C and column D. Only those 2 columns have numbers. Is it? So when you do sum, you can only do sum on those 2 columns. Is it? But based on what? Based on A's group, so full and bar, etc., and find the summation. So this is a newly generated frame. Okay, generated. Okay, and then next one try to show is you can also pick multiple columns. Is it? Here is group by A and also by B. Is it? Because by bar it has 1, 3, 2, and by full it also has 1, 3, 2. Is it? And then do summation for C and D. Okay. So this is regarding group by. Okay, so that's all of the major information for today. Okay, so we will continue our discussing on Friday. Any other questions before we dismiss? If there is no question, then I'm going to see you all on Friday. Bye.